Canes lost. Dolphins won. Gino Torretta's number is now retired by the University of Miami. It was an interesting weekend. But, Thanksgiving, you give thanks. And I would like to give thanks right now for Jalen Ramsey. Let's all give thanks.
Oh, my goodness.
For Jalen Ramsey.
And whatever doctor repaired his knee, I appreciate you, big homie.
Mackerel. I mean,
he's good.
You start to think about that Buffalo game where Kader Kohu was getting eaten up. And by the way, Kohu, I thought, had a good game yesterday.
I was actually on a thread. It's weird. I hate the name drop with Ryan Clark and Chris Long, and we were talking about the game, and they made a good point. Like, we're not doing anything different defensively. It's just you have two all-pro corners, so Kader Kohu can play the slot where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
And
he looked good to me yesterday.
And I joked, I was like, he can cover Devontae Adams for about a second and a half.
Right.
And then it's going to get a little too long for him. But that's where they're supposed to be. The structure of the defense, we actually had somebody look it up because I was like, hey, the defense looked way better. Like, you just see the structure.
Yeah.
And inside the NFL Films guy did, the statisticians, his name is Josh. He was like, nope, cover 4 and cover 6. That's all they do. That's what they did in the beginning of the season.
The personnel.
But it looks different when you have two all-pro corners on the outside.
But it makes you wonder that Buffalo game. If you had a healthy Jalen Ramsey out there.
No way Stephon Diggs is scoring 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
I'll tell you that.
So anyway, we give thanks for Jalen Ramsey. Dolphins and Canes, they both play this Friday. This Friday. They're going to have college and pro football. And by the way, the Jets, I believe, announced that Tim Boyle will be the quarterback on Friday. It will not be Zach Wilson. It will be Tim Boyle.
As a Dolphin fan, you have the guy that got beat out by Zach Wilson starting for you. Yes.
But you know what it does, though? So this is what I was wondering, because, listen, I thought they were going to put the hammer down on Vegas yesterday. I thought that they were going to score a ton, and the defense looked as good as I thought. It didn't happen, and they win by, a touchdown?
Yep.
And Friday, this is going to be a short week, and it's in New York. And there's little stuff out there, little stuff floating out there that just makes me question what's going to happen on Friday.
We're about to win a division, and you worried about going to New York and playing the Tim Boyle-led Jets?
I'm just telling you that this string of games is where they should make their mark. Do you know what the Dolphins are at this point? Because I thought maybe we'd come out of this Raiders game going, I know exactly who they are. Like, give them any kind of edge, they're going to run a mile on your ass. And it didn't happen, So I wonder Friday they should go to New York. They should absolutely obliterate the Tim Boyle-led New York Jets. But I don't know.
Hawk, you asked a question when it started, and they were rolling, and I think that 70-point Denver game kind of made you think.
Yes.
Because you kept using the word elite.
Yep.
Are the Dolphins elite right now? I can't say yes about that. The Dolphins are a extremely good football team that are going to find a way to win against mediocre.
But then shouldn't they beat the Raiders by more than a touchdown at home coming off a bye week?
You know what? You should. But with those turnovers and Tua's little falling down, he still don't know how to fall forward. He learned how to roll backwards. He don't know how to fall forward.
The strangest thing, though, why did he choose that moment to dive forward with his head? That happened to be a perfect moment to slide. There's times where he slid where he actually needed to go forward. In that one, he needed to slide.
His next jiu-jitsu session, they should let him find out where the first down marker is. Because I think he didn't. To answer your question, honestly, I think he didn't know where the first down marker was.
Solana, you shook your head when I said that they should beat the Raiders by more than 7 at home coming off a bye week. You said no.
I would like for them to have blown out the Raiders, but the Raiders aren't a terrible team. And even the most elite teams in the NFL have to win ugly sometimes. And yesterday, the Dolphins did that. They didn't look great. Tua didn't look great, but they won ugly. The defense looked great. And I'm cool. The next stretch of games here against the Jets, against the Commanders, I would love for them to blow all those teams out the way that they were doing prior to the bye week. But if they just win ugly, that's fine too. The Chiefs have done it all season long. The Eagles have done it too. They've won ugly. So you just win. That's all I care about.
Yeah, but they have the pedigree to do that, in my opinion. Like, they have the pedigree. They've got the rings to do that. I'm more okay with seeing those teams win ugly than, say, the Dolphins, who still need to make their mark. What I wanted to see yesterday was an offense that was humming, the offense that I thought we'd see against lesser teams. That offense sputtered. It was a little raggedy at times. So,
and it's where they can't run the ball. When they cannot run the ball, it's crazy to say because Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in the league right now, numbers wise.
Yep.
Tua, I was watching something this morning. Every stat they put up and they put it behind. Who was it? Oh no, last night Scott Van Pelt and some old white dude. I think I know him. He played football for the Seattle Seahawks back in the day. Forget his name. Hasselback.
Oh.
Last night it was Van Pelt and Hasselback. And they're putting all these stats up, all the offensive stats up. The Dolphins are the number 1 team in points per game, the number 1 team in yards per game, the number 3 receiver, Tyreek Hill for the week, number 2 quarterback was Tua for the week. Like the Dolphins are always in that category because people love offense. This defense is good as hell too.
Well, you saw it yesterday for sure.
And that's what I think, to your point, Hawk, where do you need to take as many chances? The offense did sputter. But do you need to take as many chances and try to go down when I can?
But
when
man,
this
that's not McDaniel's style, though, is it? To all of a sudden dumb it down a little bit because the defense is going to perform better? Like, that's not what he does.
I know, and I was getting to the narrative is that this is a high-flying, go-get-'em, wide receiver-based team. Hawk, this is a running team. That's why we were so excited about Devon Achane. That's why we were so excited about I think they're number 2 or 3 in the league in yards per game.
If a receiver is going to have over 2,000 yards receiving, can you call them a running team?
Calvin Johnson did it.
Were they a running team?
Yes. And they threw the ball real high, real far every now and again. And he would dunk on people and be that.
Mm-hmm.
This is if I'll tell you this, okay, can we call them a running team? Maybe not. If they're going to really compete to win a championship,
you see it when Mostert
need
is
100
running, and
yards
obviously you wish Achane hadn't gotten injured yesterday, whatever. Like when the running game is working, obviously it makes the passing game that much better. I'm just wondering if you can really call it a running team when Tua is setting passing records and Tyreek is setting receiving records. Like I wonder if you can really characterize them as a running team.
To succeed, they need, can we go 50-50? I'll settle with.
I'll give you that.
They got to go 50.
They have to be a good offensive team. They weren't yesterday. That's my point.
There you go.
They have to be a good offensive team because that's how you win in this league. You've said it. You can have a good defense, and that certainly helps. You've got to be able to put points on the board.
It's the Steelers right now.
Yeah.
We have one of the best defenses in the league, but their offense is a middle school offense, and they find ways to win because their defense is great. But you get in the playoffs with the Steelers defense and that offense doing what it's doing, Hawk, they're going to get the hell beat out of them.
Let's get headlines here with Solana. I see Jimmy's wearing his Victory Monday shirt. I mean, things are all right in the world of Miami Dolphins football. We're at Twin Peaks in Davie. Aronde Gadsden is here. Josh Appel is here. We're going to have some fun for the next 4 hours. Let's get some headlines here with Alejandro Solana.
Driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford. We know trucks. So Ramsey, 3 games since coming back from the injury, 3 interceptions. And the Miami Dolphins, their elevator today, Jalen Ramsey with that stellar catch at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was awesome. The outstretched hands. It was perfect.
He's so good. Both interceptions were special.
Whew, he is so good.
He is special, man. I didn't know. You know his nickname?
No.
As advertised.
Is it really?
I learned that.
That's like his nickname that everyone calls him that, or he calls himself as advertised?
I think he made it up.
You know what I mean? Because remember Dwayne Wade all of a sudden was wow. And it was like, well, wait a second. If only you are now, like Kobe did it with Black Mamba, but it stuck. People started calling him Black Mamba. Mm-hmm. Does anyone call Jalen Ramsey as advertised?
Him and his mom.
I mean, do that. I don't know.
After you play like that, now he's all over ESPN. So I was watching it, and somebody was like, "Yeah, his name is advertised." But remember, everybody started questioning him with the Rams. Is he still elite and all this stuff? Oh, come on now. Jalen Ramsey is a monster.
I mean, people thought we had Brent Grimes here for a second. I go, this guy is unbelievable. Did you know his nickname was as advertised, Solana?
I'd never heard of that.
Look it up. I tried to get Light Skin Wonder to stick.
I'll give it another go if you want.
Okay,
Because I didn't really embrace it before, but I'll give it another go if you're interested.
I remember.
I prefer ass foot, to be honest.
Tugboat started to pick up some steam. No pun.
He's as advertising on Tugboat.
You know, Barry, the ticket wizard, still refers to Solana when I'm texting with him as One Stitch. That came close to picking up steam. One Stitch.
Damn you, Kimbo Kemper.
One Stitch.
Jimmy Menthols. Jimmy Menthols. Hey, you were drinking screwdrivers this weekend.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. You all right?
I'm good. Feeling
All
good.
right. Was that in celebration of the Dolphins win, or that was something else just for fun?
No, that was actually on Friday, so that was
All
before
right.
the Dolphins game.
That was a little pre-screwdriver action.
Exactly.
Getting ready to test something
Very
up.
good.
And he's still hammered, by the way.
You know how Ozempic slows down the digestive process? He's got a slow digestion of alcohol, Jimmy. Stays in the system for a few weeks.
Doesn't metabolize. Get him, Jimbo.
Hawk was right. It will be Tim Boyle versus the Dolphins Friday. They lost to the Bills 32-6. Zach Wilson looked awful. Their offense looked awful. Third straight loss. They're 4-6. Bills rebound, and their offense seemed to hum yesterday.
Yeah.
Easy throws, though. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I told you, Josh Allen." Did you see a lot of his throws or to the flat to a running back? It was just well-structured offense.
Canes football, as Hawk mentioned, did lose. They're at Boston College Friday, final regular season game. They're 6-5. They were a knee away from being 5-0. They're 6-5.
Y'all competed, though. Y'all competed with Louisville.
You talking about Louisville?
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all were winning. When I left the house, y'all were winning.
No, they could have won that game.
Yeah.
That game wasn't out of question for them to win, but wasn't meant to be.
Since Crowder's handing out participation trophies, I'll give his Florida Gators a participation trophy for competing against Mizzou, but they lost 33-31.
Talk to y'all like the little boy at school that doesn't get picked. Look at that, man. You scored a point.
I mean, it was like Solana points it out, like it was so close to being a wildly different season. And now they're going to play noon on Friday. I mean, it like when you looked at the schedule, and then even at the beginning of the season, you're like, wow, that Black Friday game, like that's going to be must-watch television.
Yeah.
And now you're like, what time does Old Navy open? Is Old Navy near Brand Smart? Can I get back by noon?
What, y'all about to be in the mothball bowl.
No, there is a path to UF in a bowl game. I'm just saying, UF has 5 wins. You play FSU Saturday at the Swamp. And Jordan Travis, horrific injury.
Really bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
really bad.
Feel terrible for the kid. I think FSU is a much better team. It's not crazy to think UF, who did compete against a top 10 team this past week, can win that game with a backup quarterback in FSU. That gets you to 6 wins. UF in a bowl game, at least we're interested.
Oh, UF's not even bowl eligible yet?
I don't think they have 6 wins.
No.
Hawk, you didn't realize that you didn't have 6 wins.
Let's be honest, Hawk. This year, I've been real with you about
That's
UF.
true. That's true.
Yeah, we're not very talented. And you know what? It would be genius because 2 bad teams, but that would get the rivalry back going and all. Like, yeah.
Oh, I would love it because meaningless bowl games are made slightly more meaningful if you care about the opponent.
Give us 2 weeks to talk trash to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.